Alright, welcome back to Dark Souls. It feels like it's been forever since I played this game. And by forever, I mean like a week and a half, which is a very long time for me to have not played this game. Welcome MX and what I mean to say, and Deuterium. Um, so this stream is going to be really simple, I feel like. Because it's just the butcher knife with the sack, and then the plank shield, all of which are super easy to get. Um, yeah, I started as the bandit just because the strength requirement. Um, and then, I mean, that's kind of it. I was going to actually use, or I was going to start as deprived for the plank shield, and I felt like that made more sense, but also the strength requirement, so I'm just going to start as the bandit. I've been experimenting with facecam, obviously, in the Demon Soul streams. I know I have the chat up here, and it has like the weird block at the top. That's just because of how YouTube displays chat. That will go away as people continue to type. The plank shield is in the tree that just, or like it's in the Great Hollow, but it's like before you actually enter the Great Hollow. Hello, Krista. Welcome to the stream. um, I've been actually looking forward to this run just because it's so simple and it's just like a fun character to cosplay and is one of my favorite invader NPCs for various reasons. I feel like I was going to say something before I started the stream, but I don't remember what. So I have no idea how many times I've beaten this game. It is definitely significantly more than 100 because I have, well, I've streamed it like what, 30, 40 times? Something like that. Oop. The Chad Eater. Something like that. Under my headcanon, for Mildred specifically, I don't know why I'm grabbing that. For Mildred specifically, the headcanon is that she's a lesbian. So, like, I relate to her. That was very strange. I have no idea why I jumped 0 distance. Woman Eater Mildred. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I probably beat Dark Souls 1 like nearing 100 times at least. Yeah, exactly. Mildred is definitely a lesbian. Well, I'm not Mildred yet. I haven't gotten this hack. I haven't gotten the plank shield. I haven't gotten the butcher knife. We'll get there. This game doesn't get boring for me, partially because I do different builds every time, but also partially because autism. So, you know. Oh, right. I was going to mention I just made it a community post to ask for weird places in Demon Souls, like I did with Dark Souls 1. So if you are interested in contributing to the Unremarkable and Odd Places in Demon Souls video, definitely, oops, I disconnected my controller on accident. Definitely go check out the community post that I made. And eventually that'll be made into a video. I'm hoping in a couple weeks, depending on how long it takes me to get as many places as I want, and also how long it's going to take me to edit it. It shouldn't take too terribly long to edit or anything, but if it goes the way I want, then I'll have quite a few places, so it'll be a longer video. That said, I don't think there will be as many places in Demon Souls as there was in Dark Souls 1, just because Dark Souls 1 is so much bigger of a game, and Demon Souls, the way I classify odd places weird, so I don't know. I mean, it doesn't change your speed if you're not mid-rolling, so I do know what you mean, though. I have gone from, like, using, I think, Greatsword armorless to, like, Bandit's Knife armorless, and it just felt faster. I know exactly what you mean. Hall and Oats. I have no idea what that is. Oops, of course, I immediately messed that up. Yeah, true, not as many. Well, I don't know, because, like, a lot of people have played the remake compared to the original, like, that would be interested in that kind of thing by now, right? Though that is also a PS5 exclusive. I would love to cover the remake in the same video, but the problem with that is I don't have a working PS5 controller, so getting to the places that I would want to cover in the remake would be extremely difficult, because I'd have to deal with drift the whole time. Oh, the right Maneater. I've heard the song a lot, but I've never actually heard the band name or seen the band name or anything. I've never gone out of my way to listen to the song, so I don't know. I wouldn't say the remake is worse. There are a lot of aspects where it just is better in a lot of ways, in my opinion. Like in terms of game feel, the sound design is better. Not the music. That's very important. The sound design specifically. Um, like obviously the visuals make a huge impact, but specifically the visuals for stuff like attacks and whatever. When it comes to visuals in terms of the atmosphere, the original beats it hands down. Um, I wouldn't say it's worse. I would say it's drastically different, and it's hard to compare them for me. But they do definitely feel like different games, and I prefer the original vibe of the remake to the original. But yeah, the Demon Souls remake music isn't great. Um, I played the original first, but I only played it a little bit, and then I played the remake, and I liked the remake, and then I went back to the original, and it felt worse to play, but better to play at the same time. And then I played the remake again, and I definitely prefer the original in most ways. Um, but also playing the remake is so much more convenient for most people now. So I don't know. Again, it's hard to compare them for me. Yeah, yeah, it's a different art style. I don't know whether it's better or worse is definitely very subjective, but in my opinion, it doesn't hold the same vibe, and I just prefer the vibe of the original. All right, time to attempt to not die to dogs. I should have gotten the shield. I don't know why I didn't get the shield. Come here. Okay. Oh my god. Oh my god, please. Of all the things to die to, I really don't want it to be a dog. At the very least, I know this dog doesn't respawn. Oh. Okay, there we go. Now the butcher is easy on its own. Yeah, yeah, true. I wish the original was playable on PS5. I feel like that would be a much better way to handle what they did with Demon Souls instead of pretending the original doesn't exist and only having the remake available. Um, but you know, all right, there's our armor for the run. Um, the butcher knife is just a normal weapon, right? Oh, wait, that's not the button I want to press. Yeah, I don't know. I like both versions of Demon Souls. They both have their place, but one doesn't replace the other for sure, and one doesn't like nullify the other. I need to be more in the center of frame. Knocking stuff over, knocking my pills over because I'm chronically ill at the ripe old age of 22. All right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think remakes are ever necessarily a bad thing outside of when the original is entirely forgotten. Um, like for instance, the Reignited trilogy for Spyro, like for most people, it like did kind of replace the original trilogy, but also the people who care about Spyro enough to notice the differences in the first place still play the originals. So it's like for me, the while I prefer the originals to the Reignited trilogy vastly, I don't think it's necessarily bad that it exists. Yeah, and it lets more people and younger people especially enjoy it. People who might not have been in the place to play video games back when the original came out, and maybe it probably actually got a lot of people to play the original. I originally emulated the original because the remake came out, and I wanted to play the original before I played the remake. So, I mean, overall, definitely a positive. What am I doing? I need the butcher knife. All I know how to play the video game. I don't know what I'm doing, mostly. And I think the butter knife does the thing where it heals you, too. Emulating Demon Souls is probably one of the easiest PS3 games to emulate. I didn't know you could play it on Steam Deck. I didn't think the Steam Deck... Well, yeah, because it's mostly CPU, huh? That makes sense. I have, like, a 5800X, and then, as much as it doesn't really matter, I have a 3080. And it runs perfect on my desktop. That's how I played it. Or that's how I streamed it, rather. But I should try it out on Steam Deck. I might actually have it on Steam Deck. I just haven't played it on Steam Deck yet. It's a very good game. I highly recommend it. Especially if you have already played the other Souls games. It's such a unique experience compared to them. But it's also good as like a precursor to them. I don't know. It's weird playing it like at the same time as the other games. Like if you haven't played all the Souls games, in my opinion, that is a pretty strange experience, but I don't think it's necessarily bad or anything. Did I pick up the humanity? I did. I don't know. Demon Souls is one of those games that I want to play more. And I want to like be able to do runs with it, and like be good at it so that I can make videos on it. But it's also, I guess it's also the case with Dark Souls 2 and 3. I don't know. I'm mostly just focused on Dark Souls 1 right now because autism, but there are definitely a couple like random weapon runs I want to do for Demon Souls. Hootless comes to mind, though I'm sure plenty of people have already done Hootless. So I don't know if I'll even do that one. The one you get from the Broken Sword and Maiden Astraea Soul also comes to mind. Like the luck scaling weapon. Not that one. Alright. And now we get her to fall off the edge a few times. There she is. Oh god. I'm pretty sure I chose the right body type. Yeah, looks like it. Extremely difficult NPC fight, for sure. I don't know if she can get poisoned. I'm pretty sure she can. But it also won't really matter, so. Is she poisoned? Yeah. Oh my god, I messed up the parry because I pressed the wrong button. Oh no, I did the thing that I'm trying to get her to do. Everything's falling apart. Hey there, Mildred. Pardon me. Oh, that works too. I don't think the mosquitoes come here, so I think we can just stand here and wait. Without thinking about it. There we go. Perfect. Does she just drop it, or does it go into her inventory? I assume she just drops it, right? Yeah, okay. I don't think I have the stats for it, though. Oh, never mind. Cool. Can the Plank Shield parry? I feel like I remember it having a shield bash, but could just be completely misremembering that as well. Oh, I rested down here. Didn't even think about that. That's fine. I guess it just means I can level up to stats right now. I'll go to 27 and then not worry about strength anymore. Because that's basically soft cap. Because I doubt I'll be one-handing the butcher knife very often. Only when I'm parrying, and at that point, it doesn't... And then I can go ahead and fight Mildred. Or fight Quelaag with Mildred. I think that's a good idea. This should be there? Yeah, okay. Oh, excuse me. Does the dark sign take away you being human? I don't think so, right? It only takes away your soft humanity and souls? Cool. I know I'm a little bit underleveled for Quelaag, but it's fine. I don't think I've ever used this weapon. It's a great axe class, I think. Which doesn't really mean anything in particular. It's just not like a great sword or whatever. I assume the moveset is like the overhead smash attack or whatever, like where they grab the back of the blade and slam it down. Other than that, Plank Shield can vary? Okay. I don't know why I remember it having the Shield Bash. Does it have Shield Bash in Dark Souls 3? And Mildred is immune to poison. Okay. Also makes sense. Alright. This is going to be the hottest Dark Souls boss fight you've ever seen in your entire life. That's, I think that counts as a pun, right? Because there's lava in the boss fight, too. Is it? Okay, yeah, this is the right build. I wasn't sure if it was large lower body or just very large. I think it's just very large. That's what my character has right now. Yeah, exactly. Oop, okay, of course I get hit by that immediately. Mildred, what are you doing? What is she doing? Okay. Oh, 48 damage. That's wonderful. On the bright side, this is kind of offsetting the poison, the healing per hit. Oh my god. Thanks, Mildred, for actually doing damage. Oh, okay. Good. I feel like Quelaag isn't exactly equipped to handle two people attacking her. Half spider, crab demon. Would that make... I think that would make it hotter, yeah. Good point. Now, if only I could do actual damage. Oh my god. I have no idea what that hitbox is like. At least when it's a projectile and when it comes out of her, so... That was mildly terrifying. I don't want to be here. I narrowly dodged that. Cool, thanks, Mildred. Hottest and easiest Quelaag fight you've ever seen. How many FromSoft games have half human, half animal crosses? Dark Souls 1 has Quelaag, Dark Souls 2 has Notchka. Obviously Elden Ring has Romina. Let me think. There's... Is there one in Dark Souls 3? Do you want to count Aldrich in Dark Souls 3? Not an animal, but... I mean... Yeah, that's kind of it. The demons in Demon Souls are all half human, right? Does that count? Once again, not an animal, but close. Not human. Yeah, but the corpse of the fair lady is... I mean, Dark Souls 3 has hot women. Has the Firekeeper. It's kind of it. Firekeeper is the only hot woman in Dark Souls 3. I think. I can't think of any more off the top of my head, at least. Oh, there's the Dragon Girl, right? The Dark Moon Knight one. Henri doesn't count. Henri can't be lesbian, so it doesn't count. Um, yeah, free day, I guess. Dark Souls 1 and 2 have significantly more, though, is the thing. Because Dark Souls 1 has, like, Mildred, Anastasia, the Dark Moon Knightess, um, Quelaag, obviously. Like, that's all right off the top of my head, super easy. Dark Souls 2 has Shanalot, has the Firekeeper maid girl. There's Najka, obviously. There's Baneful Queen Mytha. Hot and stuffy. Yeah, true. It's close enough. Basically the same thing. Pyro girl in shade? Do you mean the girl who upgrades your pyromancy flame? Yeah, Shanalot is the best firekeeper. Anastasia is a very close second, in my opinion. Yeah, the petrified one. I hope you enjoy playing Demon Souls. It's a very fun game. Or at least, I think it's a pretty fun game. Climb Blighttown, yippee. So much fun. Um, I don't know. I guess Vitality now. It's kind of it. I could level Endurance. I'll get Endurance to 20, and then I'll get Vitality to 40 or whatever. But for now, oh, I probably should have kept those souls to upgrade the weapon. It's fine. I still have quite a few more souls. Bloodborne is a way harder to emulate, though, isn't it? Like, in terms of the processing power and the setup that you have to do. Um, at least Bloodborne is a little bit more accessible than Demon Souls, because Bloodborne is on PS4 and PS5. Demon Souls is on PS3 and PS5, which either nobody has or are too expensive, too prohibitively expensive. So Honorary transitions, but it's still horribly straight. Yeah, not buying a Sony box is entirely valid. I wouldn't if I wouldn't have originally if I knew what Sony was going to do in the future. Um, I don't know, or if I even knew what Sony was as a company at the time I bought it. I just wanted to play the Demon Souls remake. Mostly playable. I know Andy is playing it emulated, um, but I don't know anyone else personally who's playing it. It does run. Technically, it's playable. That's all that really matters. God, I'm trying to. I used to play emulated games almost exclusively as a kid because I didn't have money to get other games. Um, I'm just trying to think of how many games I played through that were like playable but not in a good state. Like I played so many Nintendo 64 games with a keyboard when I was younger. I cannot do that anymore. I have tried recently just to see what it was like, to see what I was relegated to as a child. It is so awful. I do not recommend that. Do not play Ocarina of Time or Mario 64 with a keyboard. It's not worth it. Playing Mirror's Edge on a laptop at 800 by 600 resolution is also not a good time. Yeah, I mean, when I started doing 64 emulation, the games that I mostly cared about, like Ocarina of Time, Mario 64, or whatever, were entirely playable and were actually pretty good, barring some like visual glitches or whatever. Um, but there were so many games that you literally just couldn't play through emulation. Donkey Kong 64 and then the Banjo games were both, they both took forever to be able to even play, especially on my grandma's old terrible laptop. Um, I played a lot of Mario 64 emulated, and I own it like 3 times over. Um, I I know I owned a legitimate copy on Wii. I have the 3D All Stars collection. I have the Switch Online. Had the Switch Online expansion pass. Um, I what else have I? I had a cartridge for a long time. Um, but I've also like most of my playtime in Mario 64 has been emulated just because it's so much more convenient. Simpsons Hit and Run is a very good game to have as your first emulated game. It's just a very good game, full stop. Um, I'm trying to think what rings might be a good idea because at this point, the Rusted Iron Ring is pointless, even though Mildred probably has it. Um, I guess I could get like Poison Bite. Kitties are pretty great. Oh, I should go get the other Crystal Lizard actually, and the Black Knight as well, just for the the Titanite, so I don't have to remember to get those later. No real reason for me to get this, but if I decide I want to, actually, I don't think sniping. Um, geez, what's his name? Ingward is a good idea, just because if I do the method where you like go up and around, I get a free um ring out of that. And it's a very good ring to have at that point in the game. I have the Goob ring IRL. Is it on my desk? It's either on my desk or in my purse. Um, and I think it happens to be in my purse, but I do have one. Hey, no, none of that. Quit it. The Goob ring is the ring of favor and protection. Also, this is pretty decent damage. Like, I know I'm at soft cap, basically, but unupgraded, that's still some pretty good damage. Okay, well, significantly less good from a backstab, but... yeah, it's either... Oh, it might be behind some of the clutter on my desk, but I don't think now is the best time to check. I started using facecam at the very end of the stream 2 weeks ago, and then I used it all stream on Monday and Tuesday. Oh, that was scary. And then I'm using it today. I started using it on Monday and Tuesday because those are just going to remain as streams on their own. I'm not going to do anything with them. They're just as they are forever. To like try it out to see if I wanted to use it today. And I mean, there was a mostly positive reaction, and there wasn't like any negative reaction. It was either positive or neutral, so I figured might as well use it on a stream that would normally get significantly more viewers than a random stream I do on Monday. Thank you, Deuterium. All right, actually killing Havel was nice for the souls, if nothing else, because that should give me at least nearly enough to get to +5. I don't know. Well, it's not the negative reaction to seeing me. It's a negative reaction to having the face cam obstructing the gameplay. But it's also not obstructing that much gameplay. And I feel like, again, I mentioned this before, but I feel like the streams themselves are more about the interaction than the game itself. And when it comes to, like, if I end up making this a video or something, right, it's also, I don't know, I feel like the format is more conducive to that. It adds to the gameplay. The chat on screen is something I also like. If I was gonna have a face cam, I wanted chat on screen somehow. And this is just the easiest way to do that. So I used to use, what's it called? The live stream variant of OBS that's like specifically designed for live streaming. Oh, excuse me. It was like Streamlabs OBS. And it was really, really bad. But it had a way you could just put chat on screen, like without having to use color keys or anything. It would just be transparent. But it was also like really, really terrible to use in a lot of ways. So I have stopped using that since, and this is just like a browser window. The thing above me right here is the OBS browser thing. And then I just have it set to my popped out chat window and then cropped and, yeah. Every message spawns Calamy. I don't think that would be a very good idea. I think my entire computer would explode if I attempted that. And I'm not even a big streamer. Imagine if you have like hundreds of viewers and doing that, computer would implode immediately. Yeah, having chat on screen helps with, if I were to make this a video, I wouldn't have to like put specific messages up on screen. I don't know if I would still do the thing where I like zoom in on the thing, but 4090. I feel like at that point it would be more the CPU. And the only upgrade I can get from a 5800X is like a 5950. Unless I want to get a whole new motherboard. Every chat message spawns a bone meal. Bone meal. Very different things. I need to get like a hair clip or something. I could use my headphones like a hairband, but then I would look less pretty. So. Killing the Titanite Demon for the souls isn't worth it right now. I guess I'll just use this one for now. And yes, I know I got one less than I would actually need for +5. That's because you can get a free one. A new NPC invader. Just random forest hunters. It just chooses a random forest hunter and spawns one of them. And you get 5 mages in a row and get obliterated. The bandit one does an absurd amount of damage. Actually, all of them do a lot of damage. Deals 20 damage. I think that would be impossible. Oh, true. A message could spawn Pasaka. That's such a good idea. Pardon me. That's a drunk stream. Oh, pardon me. Oh, really? Dark Souls, but everything, including me, as a Pasaka cosplay. Because I feel like there's not much you could do. I guess you could use, like, Butterfly Horn. I did know that, yeah. It's a very fun fact about Dark Souls. Is there any, like, blue armor? I guess, like, the crystal? I don't know. Here's that. Do I have a large? I don't. Yeah, I think crystal armor would probably be the closest, but it's not even that close. I wish there was a way that you could like replace your character with a Pasaka. There'd probably be a lot of restrictions. Like you wouldn't be able to go through the like enemy invisible walls, but then you could easily just like disable it for those sections. I don't know. There is probably a way to do that. It would be really janky, but it is still probably possible if you know how to mod Dark Souls, but I haven't the slightest clue on where to even start with that. And me? Maybe you could ask Trev for that or something. Well, actually, he does mostly, or he's done mostly parameter modifications, I think. So there. I forgot I'm human still. Yeah, the Lord's Blade set, I guess. This is damage. Like, again, it does make sense. I am at very, very high strength for this point in the game. But it's also only at +5. So, like, wow. True. Being hot in Dark Souls is just kind of how it works. Dark Souls players and characters that you control in Dark Souls. The player character, I guess. Remember to drink water. Water is good for you. Oh, you know, I probably should have activated the Fair Lady bonfire. No, that's fine. Indoctrinate the cat early. Is that? And you could see through it, but I guess not. Water is good for you. Drink water. Especially if you haven't had it all day. How long have you been awake? Yes, and take your estrogen. Your progesterone if you take that now. Make sure to take care of yourselves. Take your meds. Your daily vitamin if you need that. At least 8 hours and you haven't drank water? That's not good. Does the butcher knife heal per hit or per kill? No, it's per hit. Right, because the Ring of the Evil Eye is per kill. Okay. Like, you're not the only one I know who doesn't drink water ever, but you should definitely drink water. Me leaning over to the side, if you couldn't tell, is me drinking water. My whole water bottle is over here. My gallon water bottle, which is extremely useful for streaming because I don't have to go refill my water in the middle of stream or whatever. But it's also just nice to have because I have ADHD, and if I don't have my water bottle here, I will forget to drink water. And if I don't, like, I'll just forget to refill it and stuff. I am incapable of doing a backflip, unfortunately. Truly. I did not find the ring. Oh. Anastasia is dead, but it's fine. Doesn't really matter. I did not take the time to find the ring more specifically. I need more endurance. Endurance is going to be nice to have at like 20 or whatever I said. I personally, I don't forget to eat, thankfully, because I definitely would otherwise. But it's just because the pain that makes me not forget to eat. Eating is also good for you, though. I had ramen for lunch, and that's all I've eaten today. I've had the only thing that we have in the house for like breakfast is oatmeal, and I am so tired of oatmeal, and I've had it for like 2 days. Yeah, I mean, usually I'll eat as soon as I wake up. Oh my god, because I'll wake up hungry. And if not, then I'll get extremely hungry. Like, it depends. Because if I'm streaming, I need to eat before I stream. Otherwise, I just can't stream. Because I also need to have caffeine before I stream. And I can't have caffeine on an empty stomach. But most days, I'll just wake up and go eat immediately. And then I just won't eat until my partner gets home from work, which is like dinner time. Yeah, estrogen has made me significantly hungrier too. I also haven't had oatmeal in a long time, but my partner and her partner both like it, so we have it in the house. And again, it was the only breakfast thing. Granted, I did definitely eat too much, because like I forget how much it explodes when you actually cook it, because it absorbs so much water and just gets way bigger. So like I filled a bowl halfway up, and then the bowl was completely full. And then the next time I had it, I filled the bowl like a third, and then I cooked it, and then the bowl was completely full again. So I did have way too much oatmeal, but yeah, I mean, you can eat pretty much anything for breakfast. My lunch today was my breakfast technically, but um, I also am autistic and like to have specific things for breakfast. Glass for brunch is not good for your teeth, unfortunately. I would have to recommend against doing that. Vodka and ice cream. What a wonderful breakfast. Can't say I recommend it. But, I'm gonna get this bonfire. I can't imagine vodka is a wonderful breakfast. I don't know. I like cereal. I like some cereals. I like Crave. A lot of people I know really don't like Crave, but Crave cereal is so amazing. It's like the perfect breakfast food for my autism. But there's also like I love Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Golden Grams are severely underrated. But then there's also like those really sweet breakfast cereals that are awful. Oreo O's come to mind as like, yeah, that's a thing that kids would like, and then it's just disgusting. It's so awful. Um, I don't know how many souls I need actually. I need 3, I think. They're like really popular cereal brands in the U.S. at least. I don't know if you're in the U.S. and Ben, Jesus. I don't like Raisin Bran just because I don't like raisins. And it's mostly a texture thing, but it's like the way they're sweet with that texture, but it's also like kind of bitter. I don't know. I don't like raisins. I can't handle raisins. Um, the bran part is really good. Honey Bunches of Oats are really good. Honey Nut Cheerios. It's just like the really, really sweet cereals. Like Crave is chocolate, but it also has the corn on the outside that really offsets that, I think, and makes it really, really good. And it's like a really good texture. Yeah, true. Our breakfasts are mostly sugar. um, Pancakes, just carbs and sugar, which is also basically just sugar. Pure alcohol, pure isopropyl, delicious. I think I had gin at one point and didn't love it. Um, I think it was gin. I don't know. The alcohols that I do like are like vodka. Whiskey is nice sometimes. Um, I really like sake. I have something. My partner was drinking while I was gone, and they left a bottle on my desk. Um, I don't know why I grabbed that. Um, but it tasted like bad sake. I don't remember what it was, but not great. Yeah, rum can be good. I don't know. Alcohol is one of those things that's like, I was so dramatically against it when I was younger, um, because I grew up Christian and everything. Um, but over time, I've been like more accepting of it and have been wanting to try it. And there are a lot of alcohols that I really like. Um, I don't know. It's just a fun thing to drink in moderation, of course. Drinking too much sucks. The first time I drank, I had my grandma and I both split an entire bottle of schnapps. Um, and I had like a shot of peanut butter vodka and like a Kahlua, I think. So much alcohol, and I was dying. It was awful. Do not recommend that. I had an awful hangover in the morning. I mean, some alcohol is pretty bad, but like, I don't know. If you like bitter stuff, most alcohol is pretty good. Sake is like extremely acidic. Peanut butter, I've had peanut butter vodka. I haven't had peanut butter whiskey. I've had green apple whiskey. I think it was, I don't remember what brand it was, but it was really good. There's a lot of alcohol that's like on its own. One thing I have never had and have been told is a good way to consume alcohol, is beer. My mom loves beer, and I wanted to try it, but it's one of those things where I don't want to go out of my way to try it. I do like cider. Apple pie vodka. Whiskey was so much smoother than I was expecting it to be too. Sourdough loaf in a can. That sounds awesome. It's very full of tannins, right? So it's kind of bitter. I want to get the very large ember before going to Anne Orlando. I don't know if this is a good idea, but I'm going to. That way I can have... Oh, I should go fight the Stray Demon too. Whiskey burns? I mean, like it's strong, but I don't know. It doesn't really burn that bad for me, especially compared to most other alcohols. Beer is an acquired taste. Yeah, I've heard that. I don't know. My grandpa, he he was definitely an alcoholic. Like he would have at least a can of beer every day, probably more. Yeah, I'm okay. I swear. Um, so like the smell of beer, I am extremely acquainted with. But I don't know. He never really said he liked the taste of it. He would drink it with his friends a lot, and like at events, at like family parties and events and whatever. Pretty much everyone would be drinking a beer. It's a very socially oriented thing for most people though. So it feels like they were less drinking it for the flavor and more drinking it to be slightly drunk so they can be more sociable kind of thing. And beer is just a convenient way to do that. Um, I've had like Mike's Hard too. I really like Mike's Hard. I don't know what kind of alcohol is in that. I don't remember, but I don't think it's like a beer or whatever. White Claw's disgusting. I don't think that's a beer either. But I've had like Angry Orchard cider, and that's really good. It's really like sour, but in a good way. I don't know. I guess it just depends on preferences, what kind of alcohol you end up enjoying and not. But um, there hasn't been an alcohol that I've specifically disliked that I had, aside from like budget wines. But do not drink. Mead is very good. I love mead. Oh my god. Oof. Mead was one of the first alcohols I actually tried, and I really, really liked it. Yeah, I mean, sake and mead are both kinds of wine, right? I'm trying to think of... I don't think I've had any non-budget wine, actually. Mead is really bitter, but it's also really smooth. It's really nice. It's a very mellow drink, too. if that makes sense. I don't know. I really like mead. The one time I had sake, it was at a sushi restaurant, and it was like their house sake or whatever. And we got a serving thing for 2 people, but the partner I was with couldn't drink because she was driving. So I had an entire thing for 2 people on my own, and I was definitely significantly tipsy after drinking that. But it's really good. It's really acidic and like sour and bitter, but like in good ways. I don't know. I like it. I like sake. I've never seen that combination of letters. I'm not even gonna attempt to pronounce it because I guarantee I will get it wrong. And there's the second reference to the song. I'm shocked that's only the second. I need to kill you. I'm sorry. I was not expecting that to kill. That was a very funny sequence of words. Poutine. I should probably quit out to reset the ghosts. But it probably also doesn't matter. It's fine. Oh, punching. Okay. I guess that makes sense. um, Irish moonshine. You can buy. I don't know if moonshine like itself is illegal. But I know you can buy like legal moonshines. My dad used to love moonshine. He would drink it all the time. I've never had it, but I also don't like my dad, so I can't imagine I would like moonshine. Not because I don't like my dad, but just because everything my dad likes, I've ended up disliking. Including him, actually. Awful guy. I guess I should get the chunks as well. Don't yell at me. I'm doing my best. Yeah, my dad is not a great person. Believe it or not. The trans woman has daddy issues. Tequila? I don't think I've ever had tequila. Oh my god, why did I try to block with a plank shield? That was a terrible choice. A dark wraith, of all things. It's been legalized to make up to 50 gallons for multiple adults. That's a lot. Cool. I am decent at parrying. Still. Even though I've been used to Demon Souls parry timing. I don't know. Luckily I was able to get away from my dad as soon as I turned 18. And I haven't had to deal with him in a very long time. But I know a lot of people who aren't as lucky in that way and have had to deal with abusive parents for much longer. That is definitely a very terrible thing. Oh my god. I should grab RTSR since I'm here. Yeah. Having supportive parents. Like my mom is very, very supportive, very nice. Like to the point where, oh my god, she started doing things. She started treating me like her daughter almost immediately. I don't know, like things that she would never talk to me about before, she just immediately started talking to me about, like without even thinking about it. But she's also not like vocally supportive, you know? Like she's really cool. And I do still keep in touch. Whoa, they can come up here? I had no idea. um, but my dad is just an awful person. Yeah, I mean, especially when you're forced to live with your parents, it's just a shitty situation. Um, I'm gonna go get the tiny slab right now, and then I guess I'll kill the giant in there. Actually, I can kill the giant now, get to plus 14, and then get the slab, get to plus 15 immediately. That's a good idea. I should also grab another homeward bone. Is there one in the asylum? Do you get one for killing the asylum demon? No, the stray demon? I don't think so, right? Also, in my Dark Souls 1 Unremarkable and Odd Places video, and it's weird that I have to like specify that now, because I am working on another one, but because of, or in that video, I showed off the bridge in Sens, you know, the one over that direction somewhere that just kind of dead ends. And people kept saying it was so you could see one of the giants. And multiple people specifically said the boulder throwing giant. And obviously it's not the boulder throwing giant. Because first of all, the one that like drops the boulders down the stairway, you see no matter what you do, and you can't even see the giant that throws anything. But then somebody said it's the secret giant, which is the one that I'm climbing up to now, like this one, and you can see it from up there. And I actually didn't know that, and I assume that's what people meant. But you can barely see it, and it's like it like camouflages with the rest of the fortress. On top of the fact that you can see it in the cutscene anyway, so you're forced to see the giant. So you know there's another giant other than the two that you can see normally. Anyway. Yeah, I know it gives a slab, but I was curious because the slab drops. Like it's not a thing that appears in your inventory, so I wasn't sure if a bone appeared in your inventory and then you could pick up the slab. Because that's how like the Taurus demon can drop its axe rarely, but it also immediately puts, what is it, a humanity into your inventory? I think I'm thinking the Taurus demon, or like the Capra demon puts the key directly in your inventory, but it can drop its machete. So that's a weapon I also haven't used. I really wish you could dual wield that, since the Capra demon doesn't. That'd be a really cool thing to be able to do. Humanity and a bone for Taurus. Okay. I don't know. I just don't want to lose the 20,000 souls from the stray. Reinforce. Wait. I only have 2. You subscribed without watching any videos? The only thing I could think of that would make that happen would be like watching Aurora or someone who I've done a video with before. Maybe Spelunker. Maybe Trev. But I am glad you are enjoying the stream regardless. I don't know, I guess I could just walk. Yeah, we need to badger Inferno and also give him money until he decides to make powers dancing. I forgot about the Demon's Great Axe mod. I don't know anyone who would be willing to do that, regardless of the amount of money. I feel like for most people it's the opposite, where they see something they want to watch, they watch it, and then don't think about the channel ever again. The Demon's Great Axe, or was it the Tail Axe? The Gargoyle's Tail Axe. I don't remember which one I'm thinking of. Could be both. The Gargoyle's Tail Axe mod has to do with how it bends. The Great Axe might be something else. We ended up talking about both. Okay. Oh, right, because right. I don't know. I think the tail axe would work better. Right, because it was the tourist demons, because of what Aurora said, right? When he jumps down from the tower. Speaking in code. If you would like to know what I'm talking about, watch Aurora and my playthrough of the game as Ornstein and Smo. That video actually got demonetized. That was my first ever video to get demonetized. So it didn't get promoted very much. So it doesn't have very many views, but that's one of my funniest videos, I think. Also, yeah, join the Discord if you would like. There's a link in the description. We talk about NSFW things a lot, actually. That's probably the most common thing in my Discord. But there's also just like not NSFW channels if you're not into that. It's a very supportive place. Lots of NSFW things. I think the people who don't have the 18+ role probably think that the server is very inactive, actually. Most of the messages in the server are in the NSFW channels. Right. I mean, yeah, it's not super inactive, but it is significantly less active. This isn't terrible damage. It's actually pretty good. I'm calling myself... It's my server. I'm the one who made the channels in the first place. And in fact, I was the first person to post in multiple of them. Not all of them, admittedly. But like the thigh posting channel, I was the first person to post in there. Oh, that's not good. That's fine. Sex is pretty cool. Sex positivity is extremely based. Especially in Western culture. There we go. It does give you a bone. I knew it. I'm sure you will eventually. I'm not actually super like, I read almost every message in my server, but I don't talk in my server a ton. Like, I do a lot. Probably a lot more than most YouTubers with Discord servers, but I'm a lot less active than I used to be, just because there used to be like 3 people talking consistently. But now there are just so many conversations that I'm like not even a part of a lot of the time, and it's just weird to just jump into a conversation like that, so I don't usually talk a ton. Vitality. I also have opinions about the prudishness of the West. Being prude is extremely unbased. The opposite of based, in fact. Yeah, I mean, I'm not like against joining the conversations or anything. I just don't usually have anything to say because, like, back when, you know, there were only a few people in the server, it'd be like me either starting most of the conversations or most of the conversations specifically being about a couple topics that like I am interested in because it was my server. But now there are so many different people talking about so many different things that they just don't correlate with my interests nearly as much anymore. So I just don't have things to say about a lot of conversations. Picking that one cop. Yeah, a cop joined my server. If you aren't in the server and would like to know, a cop joined my server. And they started being, I don't know, they said something about, I don't remember what started the conversation. But they were being very pro-cop. And I was alerted to that by someone. And I'm like, are you being pro-cop right now? Seriously? In a trans woman server? They're like, I am a cop. And then they were immediately kicked. Your granddad was a terrorist. Interesting. Yeah, feel free to ping me if something like that happens again and I'm not there immediately. Definitely feel free to like, or even DM me. Everything's fine. Now I have enough to get to plus 14, or 15 rather. So yeah, I'm just gonna bone. Well, didn't they join because I got mentioned in a Dark Souls 3 server? Like a server specifically focused on Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 3 feels like a minefield. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, jeez. Dark Souls 3 is, yeah. I think that's very funny. I doubt it was specifically causative, but... yeah, exactly. I feel like it would be the same coming from, like, an Elden Ring server. Alright, Iron Golem should take about 2 seconds. Hate Elden Ring. I just think that the other games are all better. Elden Ring is really good, and I have like 300 hours in it. I've played it a lot, but I don't know. Just preferentially, I prefer the other games. And the community for Elden Ring, just because it's so much bigger, is a lot less, I don't know, accepting in a lot of ways. That is a lot of damage. Whoa. Yeah, there are a lot of bosses that are very not fun. As someone who doesn't play PvP whatsoever, that makes sense. Like I said, 2 seconds. So apparently Miracle Resonance is fixed. I'm playing offline, I think. Let me see. Yeah, I'm playing offline. But supposedly Miracle Resonance has been fixed. By the way, the ring in the Iron Golems arena reminded me of that. I'm gonna go online and see if I see any. I don't know. I am banned. But I should still see Miracle Resonance signs, right? Because I can still see messages and bloodstains and stuff. It'd be cool to see one of those. Or like I saw a miracle resonance sign while playing online. Like, when was that? A couple months ago, I think. So I think it was fixed at that point. And I have just been playing offline ever since, so I haven't seen any more. But it was so surreal to see it because, especially after watching Illusory Walls video, it's like, oh my god, miracle resonance? That's crazy. I think for me, Elden Ring is just it's replaying it that's the problem for me because so many weapons are just worse than so many other weapons. So it's like hard to use a weapon that you haven't used before without it just feeling worse, like a worse option, and wanting to go back to the weapon that was better, or even just a different weapon that is probably better. On top of having to collect upgrade materials every time, the bosses, in my opinion, just aren't very fun to learn in a lot of ways. It can be satisfying to beat them for the first time. Like, it felt that way with the DLC final boss, right? Like, that's a terrible boss, but it still felt good to beat it the first time. And then beyond that, it's just like, ugh, I don't want to learn this boss. Yeah, the open world is definitely a negative, in my opinion. Because again, you're just like running around trying to get upgrade materials and stuff rather than engaging with content. You're just like running into a mine, grabbing a few upgrade materials, leaving. Running into a dungeon, grabbing a material or weapon, and then leaving. Not engaging with all the content because there's no reason to. Or like outside of, and like oh god, because of the leveling curve. I don't know. It's just like there's no reason to kill a lot of early bosses because they give you so few runes for the leveling curve, and it's just, yeah. Please let me back up. No, that's so mean. Oh well. Elden Ring is really cool. I will say that. Personally, I think that's a negative. Like fighting an actual god, I think is less cool than fighting, um, a god that has fallen from grace kind of thing, like with Gwyn. It is pretty cool. And we're back. It is pretty cool to have God slain appear on your screen when beating the final boss. Right. Hopefully I can avoid falling off the rafters this time. Um, I'm working on beating the game with the fewest souls possible. Um, that's what I was doing Iron Golem skip for, and getting through Anor Londo was awful because I had to make sure that none of the Painting Guardians fell off the rafters. I had to make sure that the archer didn't end up falling when I ran past it, or like, no, excuse me, I couldn't kill the archer, so I had to like lure it back over to the. Also, if I spawn falling again, I'm gonna cry. Um, to the buttress, and then I had to like carefully go around it without falling. It was really annoying. But I think in concept, it's a really interesting run. Yeah, the lore is very it's not even that the lore is necessarily confusing, at least not in the same way that Dark Souls lore is. It's just that it's so dense and heavy that the lore is just weird to learn. Um, I don't know. The main bosses are some of my least favorite, actually. I don't know. Some of them are okay. Like there aren't. It's not like every single boss in Elden Ring is bad, but like I definitely really don't like Malekith. Malekith is awful. I hate Malekith. Rykard is pretty bad. Um, Fun. Elden Ring has a lot of unfun bosses. Yeah, the Batwing demons jump off a lot, but that was less of an issue because as long as you just sprint past them, most of them don't jump off. I did have to reload a save because one jumped off at one point though. I very much dislike Godfrey, and Godfrey, and very, very much dislike Malekith. Malekith is probably my least favorite boss in that game. Godfrey just constantly grappling you and having to wait 10 minutes every time you get hit is so frustrating. I very much do not like Godfrey. Um, um, what's his name? The final boss that isn't Elden Beast. um, the main guy is pretty fun. Elden Beast itself is actually pretty good now that Torrent is allowed in the fight. Yeah, Radigan. Radigan is cool. Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. They're fun to watch somebody else fight, but not super fun to fight yourself. I don't know. The reason I hate Malekith is just because he jumps around constantly. And if you don't already know where he's going to land, you just kind of have to get lucky. And then from there, you have to be in a specific spot to even deal damage again. And then he'll just jump away again. And it's like, oh, okay, guess I'm doing this for the next 30 minutes. Unless you spam him down immediately. But at that point, you're just like not even engaging with the boss. You're just rushing it down. And that's just not fun either. So I also very much dislike Morgott. Probably a skill issue, but him spinning like 4 times was very much not fun to deal with. I don't like Melania either, believe it or not. It's just not, I don't know. A lot of the attacks, you're either spamming roll or you're like, it's like a memory test for when you're supposed to roll. I think Margit's okay. Again, the spin attack is really annoying. And then like the immediate out of nowhere double slash in the first phase is also really annoying. Godric is probably very like consistent. Why didn't he swing? Why did he charge all the way into the wall? I've never seen him do that. That's not true. I've seen him do that. I just don't understand why he doesn't. It's not even waterfowl. Like, waterfowl is absolutely a negative with Melania, but there's so much more that's not fun with Melania. Second phase, especially, like the clone spam attack. Oh good, lingering hitbox. What? I'm getting too close to him when he's doing that, and instead of rolling to the side, I'm running away, which is not the correct choice. This, on the other hand, was skill issue. I don't have humanity on my hotbar, which I definitely should. Oh my god, that was scary. Everything's fine. That killed me. Skill issue. Well, that's the problem. The clone attack isn't timing. You're just spamming dodge the whole time. And you dodge most of them. But then if you either ran out of stamina or accidentally didn't press dodge immediately one time, I don't know. It's just not fun to do. Especially with her healing every time you get hit. It's just not a good mechanic. Because it completely nullifies multiple... it completely nullifies... Jesus Christ, I swear I can talk. It nullifies certain playstyles, which is really annoying. I don't know. I really, really, really do not like Melania. I think I actually had more fun fighting the final boss of the DLC than Melania. Oh my god. Let me out. Everything's fine. Well, that's the problem, though. It's getting hit isn't always a mistake. Getting hit, like, there are so many instances of Elden Ring that expect you to trade, and then that just becomes completely not viable at all with Melania. Her healing when she hits a shield is so stupid. One of the worst choices they've ever made for a boss. I think. Oh, I was expecting to get hit there. Like, if Melania is really fun with your playstyle, that's great. And I think that's a good thing. However, because Melania just nullifies certain playstyles, I think that's very much a huge negative. I'm not saying it's wrong to enjoy Melania or whatever. I think it makes sense that some people do enjoy it. I just really, really, really do not like Melania. But that's the thing, though. Like, it works with my playstyle. It's not like she's particularly difficult or whatever. As long as you engage with the game's mechanics. It's not because she's hard or whatever. It's just that she's not fun to fight, even with my playstyle. And like, I don't know. Manus is a great example of a boss that I think, like, the learning part isn't very fun, but it's fun to, like, execute on that, right? Once you learn how to dodge the attacks and everything. But with Melania, even when you know, for me, even when I know how to dodge the attacks, it's just not fun to do. Yeah, I think it'd be cool if FromSoft tried to do something more like Dark Souls 2 or Demon Souls, where it's just heavily RPG. I think that'd be really fun. Yeah. I guess that's kind of, in that way, it's kind of like Sekiro, where you're not necessarily memorizing each individual attack. It's more like the rhythm of the fight. But obviously Sekiro does that vastly better. Sekiro makes it feel like it's just happening, like you're just getting better at the game. But then Elden Ring makes it feel like you have to consciously do it. I don't know. I like Sekiro, but also I don't want to get all the achievements because I don't want to sit there killing the same enemies forever, trying to get the one achievement. So I haven't played it in a while, because that's what I was doing last time I played. I'm standing on the wrong side of you. There we go. I think Sekiro is really fun, and this is coming from someone whose favorite is Dark Souls 1, followed closely by Dark Souls 2. You just can't go into it expecting souls. It was very, very difficult to get into at first because I went into it, you know, expecting a FromSoft Souls-like because everyone was comparing it to Dark Souls. It is very, very, very much not Dark Souls. It has some of the same like ideas to it, like you're dying over and over. It's very much down to timing and skill. Yeah, Dark Souls 2 is great. Highly, highly recommend Dark Souls 2. Also, Demon Souls. If you like Dark Souls 2, I feel like it would be weird if you didn't like Demon Souls. um, almost none of it is memorization. Sekiro is much more rhythm than memorization. Like if you play a rhythm game, you're not necessarily reacting to what notes are coming up, and you're not necessarily memorizing which notes are coming up. You're just like learning the patterns and stuff. Learning how the game puts forward its patterns and how to play them. It's kind of the same with Sekiro in that way. Yeah. Sekiro does definitely lean a lot more into its strengths rather than just kind of being an adaptation of a different style into something else that definitely doesn't have the same strengths. Like, don't get me wrong, Sekiro is very much like a rhythm game, and that is reductive, but it's also extremely accurate, if that makes sense. So don't go into Sekiro expecting a rhythm game either, but it is similar to a rhythm game in that way. Actually, speaking of rhythm games that are, or Souls-likes that are rhythm games, it's not a Souls-like at all, but gives me the same vibes as Sekiro. I need to drink more water so I stop clearing my throat. Neverhood is incredible, and I highly, highly recommend playing Neverhood. Great game. Or Everhood, sorry. You have to, like, move and deflect at the right time, just like Sekiro. I don't know. I don't think comparing it to Sekiro is exactly accurate, but it's definitely a comparison you can make, and I love it. It's a wonderful game. I need to level up before doing that. All right, Four Kings time. I feel like I've drank so much water, but I haven't even drank like a quarter of my water bottle since starting the stream. Oh, I don't have any rings on, do I? Covenant and not Hornet. That's useless right now. Red Tear Stone. I mean, I feel like if you're just trying to do the same thing over and over in a game like Sekiro, I don't know, because you're trying to learn it, right? So if you're just doing the same thing over and over, then that makes it sound like you're failing to learn. not failing, but you're just like not internalizing what the game is trying to teach you, if that makes sense. I don't know. It doesn't feel like doing the same thing over and over when I'm learning a boss in a difficult game or something, personally. I think the biggest negative with Sekiro is it has New Game Plus, but there's no reason to do it outside of like maybe getting another ending quicker. Um, and it's just like very, very little replay value beyond being able to obliterate the bosses because you need to learn them super well to beat them in the first place. I think I first tried Owl Father the second time I fought him, actually, who was considered one of the harder bosses in the game. Not Inner Father, but um, the normal Owl Father fight, the memory one. Yeah, I also, it's not completely straightforward. But it's not exactly linear either. Like, because there are four different paths that you can go. It's like linear in the same way that the second half of Dark Souls 1 is linear, right? There are four linear paths that you have to go down, but you can go down them in any order. And it's like you can do that from the beginning of the game. Oh yeah, Owl, like the first fight when you fight him on the castle, right? I also first tried that one. I would be upset if I didn't first try that Owl, but did first try Father. Okay, well, no RTSR for me, I guess. Yeah, I feel like at some point, once you understand the combat of Sekiro as a whole, most fights just kind of click. Yeah, after Genichiro like really forces you to learn the game, and the combat. And after Genichiro, things felt easier because I just understood the combat at that point, unless it was like the ape, just because I tried to fight it differently from the other bosses, I guess. Monkey. It's a turn-based game now. That is pretty good damage. Oh, not three kings. Unfortunate. Yeah, as long as you don't try to fight the monkey like a completely different or completely differently from other fights. As long as you do the deflecting and stuff like you would with every other fight, the monkey works pretty well. And I think it's a really fun fight. Wow. Oh, I missed. Okay, well. We're both missing. Jeez. The game is teaching you by making you do it over and over again, I guess, is the best way to put it. I need to go fight the Hydra before I forget. I've had my legs crossed, I think, for the entire stream, and they're very sore now, and I should not have been doing that. Okay, I guess I'll just level endurance now. Um, I don't know. I think Sekiro is good as long as you are willing to try to learn it. If you're not willing to try to learn it, it's just gonna be bashing your head against a brick wall for hours. But once it clicks, if you're willing to like take the time to let it click, it becomes very, very satisfying and very, very fun. Like, if you're not willing to put that time in, then you're probably just not gonna like it. The lore is incredibly boring. I mean, I don't know. It's delivered pretty straightforward. Um, but also it's very like there's a lot to it, you know? Yeah, one single play style. I mean, it also kind of depends on how much you want to rely on your tools because you don't have to rely on them at all. But if you are like really not enjoying a boss or whatever, they almost all have a tool that will make them vastly easier. Like the monkey has the spear, the ogre has the firecrackers, whatever. It's trying to learn versus trying to do it without learning. Um like for Genichi to like understand how the boss moves and what its patterns are and everything, then you're just bashing your head into the wall. But if you're like actually paying attention to what the boss is doing and trying what you can um to like actually learn how its attacks work and everything, like that's a difference to me. Like you have to try to learn. You don't need any of the tools whatsoever. In fact, I would argue that the game is actually easier without the tools once you learn its combat. Oh my goodness. um, so just like from that perspective, I don't know. I think the one play style is easier and more fun, but it is vastly harder to learn than like using the tool that makes the boss fight slightly easier, right? Oops. Yeah, exactly, Fen. Spamming your rolls as opposed to trying to learn when to time your rolls. Because like eventually spamming your rolls probably will work against most bosses. That's how I beat Pontiff in my first playthrough of Dark Souls 3. I only use shurikens against the dogs, I think. I think I tried to use them against Butterfly. Um, but the damage, or but it was such like weird timing to use them on Butterfly, so I didn't end up using them very much. I can I even wield the bow? No. Did I get hit by? Oh, it has two heads left. Okay, come on. I thought it only had one head left. Hello? There we go. Being being deliberately obtrusive? Unfortunately, I don't know what obtrusive means. Oh, you're talking about I mean, you don't just you can't react to most attacks in these games. You can't just react when the attack is coming, right? Like Nito's ground stab is like a very very obvious example of that. Um, you can't just know when the attack is coming. You have to see the tell that it's about to come, and then time your roll from there. Like you can spam roll as soon as you hear him scream, right? Um, but you're probably gonna get hit by the attack if you do that. Not necessarily, but most likely. Um, no, it doesn't. I mean, the audio cue comes way before the attack actually happens. So if you just roll when you hear the cue, you're going to get hit. If you start spamming roll when you hear the cue, there's a chance you'll miss it, but you'll still most likely get hit. As opposed to paying attention and looking at him and noticing that he lifts his arm slightly before plunging his sword. Like, that's the difference. Right, but if you just spammed roll instead of paying attention to how long it took, like if you were just spamming roll, that is not learning. That is pushing your head against the wall, right? But then actually like paying attention to how long it takes and learning, that's the learning part that we're talking about. I have personally never experienced a time where I couldn't see Nito after he did the scream. So I disagree, but excuse me. But again, that's the difference. Like, if you're just spamming roll as opposed to paying attention to how long it takes, that's the learning versus bashing your head into the wall. I assume this won't bounce, right? Because it's a great axe, and great axes don't bounce. Why do you usually play without audio? I highly recommend not doing that. I used to do that as a kid. Like, I'd play, like, one game that I played a lot without audio was Majora's Mask. Because I would either play it on my Nintendo 64 and wouldn't want to wake up my parents, or I'd play it on the 3DS and have to have the audio off because I was playing it at night when I wasn't supposed to. And then genuinely one time I was doing the Gold Skulltula house, and you kind of need to hear where the Gold Skulltulas are, because they give you a hint as to where they are. Otherwise, you're just looking around for nothing forever. And as soon as I went and like silently grabbed my headphones and plugged them into my DS, and it genuinely completely changed the experience. And I have not played a game without audio for a very significant portion of time since. The only time I do that is when it's a game that I've played a lot and already know super well. Yeah, it is a great axe. Oh, it's just a normal axe. Never mind. Still though. It's not a sword, is the point. It doesn't affect the gameplay, but it affects your experience with the game vastly. Pardon me. I mean, it can affect the gameplay actually a lot too, but it doesn't necessarily affect the gameplay, but it does necessarily affect your experience with the game. I forgot that they could drop those. Oops, pardon me. Yeah, Celeste is made much better with the audio. That's true. That's a great example of that. Like, you can play it without audio, and the gameplay will be exactly the same, but then you're missing out on the music. You're missing out on a lot of the sound effects that make your actions feel so much better. Like, you're just missing out on a huge part of the experience. What's wrong with Asian fantasy? What? Why is that specifically the thing that you don't like about Sekiro? Oh, hey, we get the special riposte animation. I kind of forgot about that. It's always so brutal. I should probably put on the ring before I forget too. Oh, hey, we're about to see the Pasakas. Eventually, if Thief ever actually decides to kill me. Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom. I prefer Breath of the Wild to Tears of the Kingdom, just because Tears of the Kingdom is very... I don't know. I 100%ed, or nearly 100%ed Breath of the Wild. I got most of the Koroks. I think I got like 700 or something. And I just did not get anywhere near that with Tears of the Kingdom. I don't even think I finished all the shrines. So I completely understand that. Oops. No, come back. I wanted to backstab you. Yeah, also, once you, like, learn that flying machines exist, the entire exploration element of Tears of the Kingdom ceases to exist. So. Gotta get at least one of those in there. Oops. Have one. Tears of the Kingdom doesn't have infinite bombs. So even if it did, it wouldn't be useful. Oh wait, I guess it does have, yeah, it does have the bomb flowers. But no, specifically. Oh my god, Krista, thank you so much. Bazakos. Hold on, one more. Just for that. I'll get the grab attack from the last one too. I feel like that deserves it at the very least. Alright. That's not the animation. Krista, you are insane. Oh my god, you I completely forgot to mention it when it happened. But you I noticed that you changed your membership tier. And that was, you didn't have to do that. That was incredibly nice, but also kind of fucked up. It's fucked up in a nice way. Thank you so much for that too. They specifically cap Link's horizontal speed? That's so stupid. Nintendo is so anti-fun. It also took way too long to come out for me to, like, properly enjoy it in a lot of ways. Like, by the time it came out, I was just so done with Breath of the Wild. Yeah, Nintendo is a very anti-fun company. I'm trying to think what a good Zelda game would be to start off with. I don't know. Wind Waker is really good. Twilight Princess is also really good. Minish Cap is really good. Link Between Worlds. I don't know if Link Between Worlds would be a good first Zelda game though. Yeah, Wind Waker is very, 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 very good. I would really, really hard to figure out where you're supposed to go. Certain puzzles are not necessarily just trial and error, but very trial and error. I don't know. The only Nintendo games I've been playing recently have been Picross. I've been playing Picross S5 a little bit. I bought it a long time ago because I've always loved Picross games. I mean, I took caffeine to quell my ADHD so I could stream, so that counts. Skyward Sword is really good. I actually really love Skyward Sword. I don't know that it's a good first Zelda game just because of story stuff. But yeah, Skyward Sword is a very, very good game. Very overhated for sure. The motion controls are an understandable negative. But I thought they felt pretty good. I played it on Wii with the motion controls and really enjoyed it. I played the Switch version with motion controls and without motion controls. And then I also played it on Dolphin with emulated motion controls, and I never had a bad experience with the controls. But the puzzles, dungeons, they're very good in Skyward Sword. Very, very story-heavy game, but in a good way, in my opinion. There is a lot of retreading of like the same areas, but I think the revisits change the areas enough that it's not that much of a negative. The most negative thing I can say is like you're not seeing that many unique, visually interesting areas, but I don't know. I really like Skyward Sword. It might be filtering the key smashes out of top chat because of like spam filtering or something. That's probably what's going on with that. It should be in the live chat, I assume. I don't think live chat filters anything. Unless it's like a link or something. Yeah, I'll probably just spam filter then. I mean, the vast majority of chat messages appear in top chat anyway. And obviously I do it because live chat is annoying to moderate. Just because I don't know, when you get to the point, I don't know, it's annoying to like if you have a bot come in and something and start spamming. It's just better to not have it in the first place. In my experience, anyway. Especially when I have the chat up on screen and everything too. Yeah, there's a piece of missing geometry up near the top of the cave. Or, well, yeah, in the cave. I think I pointed that out on a couple of streams before, actually. If not, then I've definitely done it in at least a video. I don't remember which ones, though. If I remember correctly. Really? That's... What did the message say? What would it have blocked? All streams should be in the Discord. It's so weird seeing player ghosts because I've been playing offline for so long. Mildred is a very fun cosplay. I really like this weapon. Oh my god. And the only armor I have being the sack is also great. Jesus, the clam. I swear to God. Pardon me. I'm just gonna go around you a little bit. There we go. Oh no. The tail hitbox. Or the tail is always so much longer than I remember. Clam is harder than Seath. Should I just do RTSR? I don't know if it's worth it. Okay, well not if he's gonna move forever and never actually attack me. Oh my god. Now I need to get back to the other side in case he does the crystal explosion attack. Seath is such a great boss fight. Okay, attack please. I mean, good damage. What's not RTSR damage look like then? It's easy to get back into RTSR. You know, RTSR might be worth it, to be honest. As long as I don't get cursed. Yeah, it's not awful, but RTSR is just so much better. I don't know. If I end up getting hit enough to get into RTSR naturally, then I'll do it, but I'll not heal, but... Okay, never mind. Stamina management kind of disappeared. Oh, okay, we're back. Stamina management kind of disappeared in later games. Just kind of awful. In my opinion, I really enjoy the stamina management aspect of Dark Souls. Demon Souls and Dark Souls 1, I feel like had the best stamina management. Dark Souls 2, the stamina feels too low a lot of the time. But it also works for the speed of the game. It just kind of doesn't feel great sometimes. Dark Souls 3 and Elden Ring don't have stamina management, which is just not fun. Because it takes zero strategy or effort to do anything a lot of the time. And the only way they were able to make things more difficult was by making them faster or harder to time. So it's just, I don't know. The difficulty comes from aspects that I don't think are super fun because of the lack of stamina management, as opposed to the stamina management itself being part of what makes the game difficult. So... And, like, it's also at the point where you can not necessarily get rid of the stamina management, but engage with it less in Demon Souls and Dark Souls 1 if you level your stamina. But then that's also at the cost of either time, like in terms of farming, or health, or damage, you know? So I think it's a really good trade-off and a really good balance. Yeah, exactly. I think that's a lot more fun than just making the game faster because stamina management isn't a thing in the first place. Yeah, that's actually a really good comparison. Having that choice is better than it being made for you. You know, I have a Firekeeper soul. I just haven't used it. I probably won't, but... I have definitely beaten Elden Ring at least once without leveling up stamina. Oh my god. Same with Bloodborne. I've definitely beat Bloodborne without leveling up stamina. I've definitely also beaten Dark Souls 3 without leveling up stamina. Most of the time I play Dark Souls 3, actually. I just entirely ignore stamina, so... There have been very few times that I've beaten Dark Souls 1 or 2 without leveling up stamina. Oh. No, come back. Okay, we're good. That was scary. I almost died. Very difficult fight, as always. Oh my goodness. I inhaled the water. That was a bad choice. Don't inhale water. Anyway. I also do it all the time. I'll forget to, like, either I'll forget to hold my breath while I'm drinking water, or I'll have to breathe in the middle of taking drinks of water and just end up breathing in water. And then it'll give me the hiccups, and then I'm like coughing and hiccuping for multiple minutes straight, and it's awful. Because, like, I'll need to cough to get the water on my throat, but then that'll make me hiccup, which makes me stop coughing. And then I need to try to cough again, but that'll just make me hiccup, which means the water won't come out. And so it's just an endless cycle of pain. Especially when it happens with soda. God, inhaling soda is the worst thing. Maybe not the worst thing, but it's pretty bad. It's up there. Okay. I just need to not fall off. And see, now that I have facecam, if I end up trying to read chat while like running along a narrow pathway or something, um, you'll know that it's actually because I'm trying to look at chat and not because of skill issue. When I'm looking this way, I'm looking at chat, by the way, if that wasn't clear. And when I'm looking this way, it's when I'm looking at the game. Demon Souls crystal lizards have traumatized me, I think. Yeah, exactly. It's an excuse. I say as I'm staring at chat while running down an incredibly narrow walkway. I don't know. Nito shouldn't be too terrible. I do have extremely high... oh, I should have grabbed the wolf ring. The wolf ring would be great for this. Ah, excuse me. No, please. Okay, we're good. Like a nerd. I mean, technically, I should be wearing glasses. However, I lost my glasses a long time ago, and I'm poor, so I just never got them replaced. If I were to wear glasses or like if I were to get new glasses, though, they would probably be like full moon. See, visual cue. There we go. What? Where'd the other one go? I don't think the cost of the glasses themselves is the problem. Oh my god. More so the inability to get in. And that making it difficult to even see an optometrist in the first place. On top of scheduling appointments and getting to appointments and stuff being difficult. It's just a lot of stuff that is all like the reason that autism is considered a disability in the first place. Like, technically, I am able to do a lot of things, but there's a reason I'm considered disabled regardless. Yeah, exactly. Making appointments sucks. Also, Krista saying, oh my god, saying that me getting glasses would make me cuter is implying that I'm cute in the first place. I'm gonna be honest, I used to be really bad at taking compliments. But now I feel like I'm worse at deflecting compliments because I was complimented so much that I've just kind of internalized it. But that also kind of makes me feel full of myself a lot of the time. And like, I know I'm not, like, I don't know, I don't think I'm all that or whatever. But it does feel probably actually because of Christianity, huh? I was told to be humble and whatever, and now that I have some pride in myself, it's like, oh, actually, that's a bad thing. That's probably why. Maybe I should be more full of myself. Ben, you should too. Break the cycle. A different, more freaky way. Also that. Yeah, but that, I mean, I feel like a lot of modern culture is just heavily based on Christianity anyway, so it's hard to say that anyone hasn't had to deal with Christianity whatsoever. You know. Hey, yeah, third reference to the song. Yeah, that's true. Having it directly pushed on you is different than cultural osmosis, I guess. Yeah, three seems kind of small for the like title of the stream, having Maneater, this title of a song in the title. Seems like there'd be more. My dad used to be a preacher. I know he's very much not. I think he still calls himself a Christian, but I'm also pretty sure he's a dealer through the grapevine. And like, I'm not gonna support cops, but you know, this is one instance where I maybe wouldn't be that upset if the cops found out about something like that. Though he is white, so I guess it's unlikely that he would be prosecuted anyway. Girl. Maybe I wanted to do this cosplay so I could feel myself being represented by the character I'm playing in the game. I don't even know if my dad knows my online alias. I haven't talked to him in coming on 3 years if he knew my channel name. I don't know how much it cut out, but I was saying that I haven't talked to him in like 3 years, so I don't think he would know my channel name or anything. I'd be surprised. It'd be cool if it would stop disconnecting. Jeez. I've tried a lot of things to get it to stop disconnecting so frequently. And I really don't know what else to try because like I have a stable connection. It's not like I randomly disconnect from the internet or whatever. It might be encoding issues, but I'm also using the hardware encoder, and I have really good hardware. The issue might be that it's downscaling a 2K screen to 1080p. So next time I stream, I could try just making the game window 1080p or whatever. That might fix some encoding issues and might make it disconnect less. I don't know. I could try. And then if that doesn't work, I genuinely have no idea what I could do. Because like I have a beefy computer and it should be able to handle streaming no problem. And it's definitely not my internet. Pardon me. I'm excited to do the DLC. I think Manus is going to be a fun fight with this weapon. I think it'll perfectly fit my playstyle against Manus. How long have we been streaming? Okay, just over 2 hours. On pace to beat the game at about the same time as usual. Have I even done a jump attack this entire playthrough? I don't think I have, which is exceedingly rare. Cool. What is the jump attack? Not that. Okay, just a normal jump attack then. I use jump attacks incredibly frequently. I mean, they can be difficult when you're first learning, but at least for me, eventually the timing was just ingrained into my soul. And by my soul, I mean my hands, muscle memory. So I'm mostly consistent with them. I have definitely died because of a misinput when trying to do a jump attack. The Channeler's Trident stream is very much evidence of that. Most of the time when I mess up a kick, it's because I have like a curved sword equipped and I just kind of forget. Also, having 4 attacks is nice. I'm pretty sure kicks and jump attacks have the exact same timing. I don't know why they would be easier. It is very rare that I end up using the weapon arts in Dark Souls 3. I used a weapon art in my entire recorded playthrough of Dark Souls 3, um, which is weird because the Claymore has like a really, really good weapon art. In Elden Ring, I used Ashes of War constantly because they're just like really, really good and an integral part of how you build your weapon and stuff. But the elevator? Oh, right, because I accidentally was dancing at the top of an elevator and pressed the button, huh? Or at the bottom, whatever. I actually didn't start using jump attacks in Dark Souls 1 until after I played Elden Ring, because Elden Ring expects you to vary your attacks really frequently. Because like the jump attack does more damage than a normal attack, right? Oh, and we're back. The jump attack in Dark Souls 1 does more damage than the normal attacks, right? So when you see an opportunity for a jump attack, for a jump attack, you should usually take it, unless you're using like a curved sword or something, because it lets you do more damage. But seeing those opportunities took playing Elden Ring to see in the first place. There are some Ashes of War in Elden Ring that aren't super great, but like Glintblade Phalanx, the one that you get from Rajier's Rapier, is like really, really good. Or like the Wing of Estella weapon art is incredible. The Deathrite Spear, whatever, weapon art is really good. Like there are a lot of really, really good weapon arts. So like depending on your weapon, you're gonna be using them all the time. Like the majority of my damage when I used the Wing of Estella was probably from the weapon art. Lion's Claw was exactly the one that I was thinking of when I said that there are some weapon arts that just aren't very useful. I do not like using Lion's Claw. Are you kidding me? I got hit by that the easiest grab attack to dodge in the entire game twice in a row. Jeez. Dang it. This moveset. Are you kidding me? This moveset is not great for this boss. Come here. I forgot the Flame Bridge was even in Dark Souls 3, to be honest. That was one of the weapons that I wanted to use a while back when I was first, like, getting into Dark Souls. I saw it and I thought it looked cool, but I didn't want to have to kill the Hollow Slave over and over just to get one. So I never actually ended up using it. Oh my god. Leveling specifically to use Ashes of War more often usually ended up not being a great idea. Oh my god. Everything's fine. So I didn't use them a ton in a lot of my playthroughs, but like in my Claymore playthrough where I used almost exclusively the Claymore, that was an instance where I just didn't use the Ash of War very often. But I don't know. Ash of War, or if you like if you have a weapon that has a specific Ash of War, or if it's like if you're doing an intelligence build or whatever, right? Then not using an Ash of War is just kind of handicapping yourself. Like I said, the one on Rajier's Rapier is just really, really good. And you can transfer that off of Rajier's Rapier too. So I've done a playthrough where I put that specific Ash of War onto a Claymore, and that was a really fun playthrough. In fact, I think I did that in my very first playthrough. I forgot to press the block button. Everything's fine. Everything's okay. Just in case. I don't think he ever moves again, right? After he moves to round table, like even if you talk to him, I don't think he moves. Most weapon arts aren't anime moves though. That's the thing. Or Ashes of War, rather. Um, most of them are just like a projectile or a stronger attack or whatever. Like Stamp is just like am I thinking Stamp? Roar? I don't know. There's some that are just like temporary buffs. Like even the grafted blade greatsword, the absurdly large sword. That one's weapon art. You just stand there um, in a specific stance, and then you have a buff for a little bit. I mean, to be fair, if you already looked there when you first got to round table and then you killed Godric, then like there's not really any reason to look there again. So it makes sense that you would miss it, but it is unfortunate because that's a really, really fun weapon art. The weapon is less good than I was hoping when I tried it, but the weapon art's good. I mean, it's not out of the way. It's right next to where you get teleported to when you enter the round table. But I don't know. It does make sense that you never looked there specifically. I love the complete lack of a sliding sound, by the way. I just kind of have always remembered a sliding sound, and then when I noticed that, whatever stream I noticed that in, it was such a weird. You can just respec in Elden Ring. So trying different builds is super easy in Elden Ring. I guess if you never like talk to Renala, then I guess it makes sense. But I don't know. I feel like even if you're not paying attention to what you level early on. Oh, well, to be fair, Renala is a pretty easy fight as long as you're doing more than magic damage, right? If you're doing mostly physical, or any damage type that isn't magic, Renala isn't that difficult. Renala's not that difficult. Okay, come on, do the thing. Thank you. Oops, skill issue. Right, but the problem is you need to get a vigor to 60, and then also the base stats are at 60 or whatever. And then the soft cap for intelligence is like 80 or whatever. So if you want actually good damage, you're just gonna have to put so much into your damage stats. And because you need so much health to even in the late game, you basically need 60 vigor to survive more than one hit. Okay, that one was unironically just skill issue. Imagine getting hit by a bit of chaos. Couldn't be me. Don't get bearded to death. Okay. I guess it depends on what armor you're wearing. I never wore any, I never wore very much armor. Oops, that's not what I wanted to use. DLC time. Am I blind? Yes. I don't know. I had 60 vigor with the Erdtree's favorite talisman and the Crimson Amber medallion +2. Both the Erdtree's favorite medallion or whatever it's called +2 as well. And it still didn't feel like enough. Because, like, dying in 2 or 3 hits just does not feel good, especially when you're learning a boss. It's so annoying. That's one of the reasons I hated Horaloo, because you'd get hit, you'd have to wait 15 minutes, and then if you tried to heal, you'd get hit again, and then have to wait another 15 minutes for his grab animation to end, and it's just not fun to learn at all. I don't know. Things do way too much damage late in Elden Ring. I mean, early on, it's not that bad. Like, especially a lot of the optional bosses don't do very much damage, but like Margit does a ton for that early. Um, and then one that really comes to mind as doing way too much damage for how early it is the one at the end of the fort. What's it called? The fort? At the very south of the map, in the peninsula or whatever. Oh, I also don't need this anymore. No, not Radon. Um, yeah, Leonine. That one. Um, because like you either stagger lock it or you'll get hit 2 or 3 times and then die for that early in the game, and that was not super fun. And then I mean, like the first time I did that fight, um, I I think I was using the jellyfish. No, I was using the wolves because the wolves were insanely overpowered in the network test. Um, so that was interesting. I wish you luck. Hopefully that goes well. Hopefully you have a supportive fraternity. Yeah, Castle Morin, that's the one. While Manus manhandles me, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. I will be right back. Oop, almost dropped my controller. Everything's fine. Oh, my controller disconnected. Okay, we're good. Yes, everyone drink water. Water is good for you. Also eating. Eating is also good for you. Dark Souls 3 has that problem a little bit too with the long combos, but Elden Ring really brings it to a whole nother level. 2 hot dogs is not nearly enough for a day, actually. You should definitely eat more than that. Was that instability damage? Always so disappointing when this boss goes by in 2 seconds. But it's okay. Still my favorite, even though it has no health. You could also have 2 hot dogs and a bagel. That would be even better. Then you could have like some pasta on top of that. That'd be like almost enough. Maybe a snack. Some like cookies or something. Pasta is very good. I really like pasta. Well, you're full because you don't eat enough. If you eat more, then it'll take more to get you full. And you can eat more. You can very easily get or have one meal a day and be perfectly healthy. You just have to eat the right stuff for that meal. Um, if you really have a hard time remembering to eat, you could have one meal a day, but have that one meal be big enough to sustain you, you know? I've heard that's healthier, but it also kind of depends on um, like everything else around you. Like it depends on your schedule. It depends on how your brain works, obviously. Like for you, it might work better, but for me, I couldn't eat just one meal. um, I don't know, make a routine out of it too. Might make it easier to remember. If you also had a salad and a snack with it, then maybe. Or like a day where you're eating light for whatever reason. But on its own, no, that is not a good meal or not a good daily meal. All right, I'm gonna attempt to not die to Artorias, but shortcuts are always nice to have for mental state. Or not mental state. I don't know, something like that. I know what I'm talking about. Probably. Oh, next week from the poll, I said I was gonna do Priscilla's dagger, right? Um, I'm kind of worried about that one because I can't imagine it's a great weapon. You can't buff it, and it does very little damage, right? Its main thing is just the bleed. Then obviously the life on scythe is better for that. Fancy lamp? Have a good night, Krista. Thank you for joining while you could. And thank you for the money, once again. Insane is an apt word. Well, yeah, I mean, I just don't remember what you're talking about off the top of my head. I'll have to go out and look at it. Oh my god. Artorias dagger. That never happens. Oh my god. His poise recovers in 3.5 seconds. Also, the fact that I got it with an axe too, not even like a great axe or whatever. Cool. Easy. Oh, this thing? Yeah, these are just the lights in this place. I think it's supposed to be a plant, I assume. Like the flowers in Darkroot that light things up. Anyway, yeah, you can buff the bandit's knife. It also does bleed. It's probably just better. All right, Manus time. Once I get there. Shouldn't be too difficult. Hopefully. My damage is pretty good, so. It's very rare that I get to both 40 vitality and 40 endurance. But going above 27 strength is kind of pointless, so it's funny. At least going above 27 strength when you are specifically two-handing something, I guess is a better way to put that. Pardon me? Wonder if that was instability. Probably. I usually don't, just because I prioritize damage. Like, I got my strength to 27 almost immediately, though, so I've only been leveling health and endurance for the entire rest of the game. Because there's not really anything else for me to level up that would be helpful. Like, I guess I could get strength to 40 for, like, Gwyn riposting, but that's kind of it. Pardon me? There's no reason to bring it above 40. I mean, especially endurance, unless you're wearing extremely heavy armor. But like, even when I'm duping, I never go above 40, just because it takes a ridiculous amount more souls to get to 99. So if you ever decide that you want to upgrade another stat, it just sucks and takes forever, and you need to dupe way more than you would have to otherwise. Well, it wasn't instability, I don't think. So I can one-shot these without instability, with a running attack. Bonk. Like, even when I'm duping with a Soul of a Great Hero, like, I just don't level up my strength and endurance, or vitality and endurance past 40. Just because, again, it takes forever. I almost never fight Calamite. It's very, very rare that I fight Calamite in a stream. It's actually been a while since I've killed these 3 specific bloatheads. I usually don't, and just try to run past them. But this also always ends up, usually, even when I do try to kill them, it ends up being difficult, but... GG's. I fought Calamite last time, didn't I? It kind of just depends on how long the run has taken. Like, if I was at 2 hours instead of 2.5 right now, then I probably would. But, you know, I feel like having more health than Gwendolyn isn't that difficult. Gwendolyn doesn't have much health. Oh my god. My eyelids keep getting stuck on each other. I should get an eyelid? My eyelashes. I should get an eyelash curler. Oh, Gwendolyn is 2,000? I didn't realize it was that high. Still though. He gets a what, like 1,500? 1,500, something like that, but on favor and protection. So like Mask of the Mother, favor and protection, and then like tiny beings. Is favor and protection like 25% based on the number, or 25% based on the level? 25%? Like 15% actually? I don't remember. I feel like that shouldn't happen when you're using a curler. Are you using it on the bottom lashes? Because that might be your issue. Alright, Manus time. Time to attempt to no-hit Manus and fail miserably. $500 on a jump attack, that's not bad at all. Yeah, easy fight. I kind of want to try to get to RTSR range, but I don't think it's worth it. Yeah, exactly. It's just Manus. Oh. Okay, everything's fine. What? You're so close. Why would you use that? I think that might be the closest I've ever seen him use that. Okay, everything's fine. I've gotten lucky every time I messed up a jump input. I don't think I've ever had an eyelash poke my eye from using an eyelash curler. It might just be the way your eyelashes are. It might not work well with how eyelash curlers work. I also haven't used one in a very long time though. Oh darn. Perfect. Hitless Manus. And then we be nice and wake up Dusk. She's a very heavy sleeper. I don't know, strength, I guess. I really like how mascara, like, it's subtle on its own, but it definitely, like, draws attention to my eyes, and I really like how my eyes look most of the time. So it's just a good thing for me to do. And I think curling my eyelashes beforehand would probably give that a greater effect. I actually have eyeliner on, and this is my first time ever putting eyeliner on my waterline. It was a lot easier than I was expecting it to be, but I don't know. It sucks. But I really like how it looks, and it's a lot easier than I was expecting. So Gwyn should be pretty easy, considering it's Gwyn. What's the scaling on the butcher knife? A scaling. Wow, I actually didn't realize that. Better. It's about making you look more like you want to look. I don't know very many people who wear makeup specifically because it makes them just like look better or whatever. Most people I know who wear makeup wear it because they just like how they look with it more. Hi Lamb, welcome to the stream. You made it just in time. We're gonna kill Gwyn, which hopefully I'll be able to do first try. Oh my goodness. Skill issue. It's not worth it. Excuse me. Also, since we're coming up to the end, if you weren't here when I said it earlier, and you have played Demon Souls or have seen somebody play Demon Souls and have something to say about it, I have a community post where I'm asking for areas that are like weird, like I pointed out in my Unremarkable and Odd Places video for Dark Souls 1. I'm doing that for Demon Souls. So if you have any suggestions, I would very much appreciate it if you left them in the comment section of that community post. I know a lot fewer people have played Demon Souls, so any contribution whatsoever would be extremely helpful, because I want to show off as many as I can. And if it's just the ones that I think are kind of weird, then I don't think it'll be enough for that much of a video. Like, the Dark Souls video, obviously, was like an hour and a half, right? But if I were to just do the ones that I think are cool in Demon Souls, it would probably be like maybe 30 minutes if I really stretched it. Okay. I should stop two-hand riposting so I can actually bake Pegba. There we go. All right. There we go. So verdict, pretty strong, I guess. This was a very fun stream. I probably should have tried to stay human more often, but it's fine. Well, I'm glad that the stream was good enough for you to want to stay here the whole time. um, yeah, this was a fun cosplay to do. Highly recommend it. Maybe not the plank shield. That's like the most negative part of this. The sack is obviously just a positive. Being naked otherwise is also just a positive, but the plank shield is kind of just but that's fine. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Probably, I'm probably gonna make. Oh, okay. Well, I'm probably gonna make a poll to figure out what I want to stream for the next month. Just do 4 more options soon on the community page. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I love you all, and I don't know how to end